And welcome back to part 2 of What If Jiraya Adopted Naruto? So last time on a Naruto What If, we left off with 12-year-old Naruto, who was much stronger than the previous Naruto, obviously, having raised and trained by Jiraya and the Toads. Excuse me, ooh, that came out of nowhere. Being introduced to the class a month prior to the graduation exam, giving him some time to at least get some grades in there and being allowed to participate. Now, little house cleaning on two fronts right now. And I like that term, house cleaning. Basically, addressing some of the questions that were raised in the comment section in the last video. Or in the last part of this video. A, would Naruto be a pervert because he was raised by Jiraiya? Not really. Let's be clear. Jiraiya had no issue, acting like a pervert around Naruto when he just met him. Because A, he barely had actually any interaction with Naruto. But B, Naruto was 12 going on 13. He was an adolescent kid going into his teenage years, going into his puberty years. Jiraiya didn't have any real issue with that. But also, I don't see... A, Naruto would be spending a lot of time being raised by Mom and Pa in Mayobuku, I think we established that was the name of it, the Toad Mountain. He spent a lot of time either. So they would instill good manners into him. But also, I do think that when Jiraiya is actually raising Naruto himself, he would be good, especially around an infant and like a kid not even into his teens yet. He'd try at least, I don't know, up until Naruto maybe turns 8 or 9, maybe 10, to keep the perviness to a minimum around him because he wants to instill a good example into his student's kid, into the fourth's kid. So, no, I don't think Naruto, even at 12, would be that perverted. He might be a little, just because once he hit that age, Jiraiya would be a little less cautious around him, let's say. But I don't think, like, when he's taking Naruto on trips, I think he would, like, actively avoid, like, going to brothels or spending too much time around loose women when Naruto's around with him. But the other question I'm going to just quickly address is about whether or not I'm going to make this a Naruto Hinata story. Well, in the sense of, am I going to pair Naruto off with Hinata? The correct answer to that is, at this very moment, I do not know. Normally speaking, as long as Naruto's in the village, it makes sense to make it a Naruto Hinata story in terms of that they end up together. Because that relationship, there's no real fundamental change in a negative way to that relationship, generally speaking. But in a scenario where Naruto has been out of the village, where he has not had much interaction with anyone, where Hinata doesn't even know who Naruto is right now, there is admittedly room to change that up a bit. There is. Now, I'm not going to say I am, and I'm not going to say I'm not. Right now, we're only on part 2, so I'm going to see where I take it. If it does naturally progress towards Naruto and Hinata, so be it. But if it naturally progresses to, hell, Naruto and Sakura, Naruto and Ino, Naruto and Tenten, Naruto and Tamari, Naruto, Fu would probably still be dead in this scenario, so I can't do Naruto, Fu, or Yugoto. But generally speaking, you get my drift. If I feel naturally progresses towards one scenario or another, so be it. So with that being said, let's actually get into this again. So last we left off, Naruto got introduced to the class, and the whole class is relatively, most of them are just like, oh, it's Naruto's new guy. He seems pretty, he seems he's acting cool. Naruto would still be Naruto. A much more intelligent, more reasonably sound Naruto, but Naruto nonetheless. He's still vibrant, exuberant, vibrant, loud, energetic. But he also knows how to, rein himself in, thanks to some proper teaching from Mom and Pa and a little bit of Jiraiya. Now, I think Kiba would definitely see him as like, this new guy's going to be a bit of a rival. And Sasuke would definitely be taking interest in Naruto, because unlike everyone else, because Kiba's probably like one of the only kids in the class, or students in the class, that could probably give Sasuke a solid fight, at least in the taijutsu area, because that's their natural forte. Sasuke's got more finesse, but I think Kiba was just naturally stronger physically. I do think that it was the same case with Naruto too. He was naturally stronger than Naruto, and he's a lot more ferocious in combat. So up until this point, he's probably been the only one to give Sasuke any real issue. But he's sizing Naruto up, and even he can gauge Naruto's strong, and he's got his eye on him. Meanwhile, Ino, Sakura, the other girls are actually also eyeing Naruto up also, because remember, and I briefly mentioned this when he showed up initially, Naruto, when you really break it down, wasn't a bad looking guy. Especially as he got older, he would have been considered pretty attractive by most of the shinobi world standards. It's just that his personality grated on all of them, and they were fangirling over Sasuke most of the time. However, now they're like gauging as like, ooh, this guy kid, and it's like they find the whiskers kind of attractive, got the bright blue eyes, the blonde hair, spiky. She's got a nice warm presence about him, where Sasuke is very cold and distant. Now Sakura was sadly, let's be honest, Sakura is definitely more Sasuke prone than Ino is. I mean, they both were back in the younger years, but I say Sakura because that lingered all the way to the point where they did get married and had a kid together. So, hey, persistence wins the day, I guess. But yeah, let's be honest. That's the way that ended up. If one were to lose interest in Sasuke first, it would be Ino. Hell, she was willing to flirt and God, I don't know, do what with Neji just to get out, just so he would leave them alone in the force of death. Luckily, he did. But Ino, I think Ino would now take at least a notice, and I was like, oh, it's like I'm conflicted now. Sakura would also be at least a little like, he's nice, but he's no Sasuke. We don't. It's like Ino would even be like, we don't even know what he can do yet. Maybe he's even stronger than Sasuke. No one's stronger than Sasuke. Ino pig. Oh, you forehead, Ino pig. So they would have an argument. Now, Hinata doesn't know. No, now Hinata would also be very reserved and quiet. As far as I know, Hinata's grades were. She wasn't dead last. We know that. She was actually, apart from Sakura, who had the highest grades, probably came at number 2 or 3 because they were the only shinobi that her and Ino and Sakura, the only ones to Kunoichi to actually go on a squad that went on to be legitimate ninja, at least from that class. So I'd have to believe she had solid grades. She might have been even better than Ino because we know she was probably the best girl in the school at Taijutsu, just given her clan. But she's got a very low confidence threshold. She's just very meek and timid. So, I mean, and she probably wouldn't go out of her way to talk to him. She'd still be friends with Shino, definitely, and Kiba to some degree. But Hinata would definitely, she wouldn't have any inherent, like, I don't know who this is, but he at least seems nice. So, the classes would begin, and Naruto is still Naruto. If he knows a question, it's about like a history, like Shinobi history or something like that, about a subject he really likes, maybe he'll answer. And occasionally, I think he would. He'd know a little bit thanks to Jiraya, Mom, and Pa schooling him on some history. I'm good. There we go. Sorry, it's not that I'm gassing. It's that talking too fast. I really gotta learn. I got better for a while, and then I went back to really speed talking. I need to slow my roll. So this few times he'd answer a tough question that's based on history. And maybe even schools Iruka once or twice. I think that'd be funny, is that he knows something better than even Iruka does. A couple of the girls would take more notice of him. So then went to lunchtime, and then we're just dealing with the first day. I'll go with basically the highlights throughout his first month leading into the actual exams a little bit. But the first, lunch would come, and, he'd eat lunch, and he doesn't really know anyone personally. No, but now Naruto's not shy or anything. He'd probably go up to one of the groups and ask if he could sit with them. Now, who would he go to sit with? He could ask. Now, I imagine Ino, definitely Shikamaru and Choji are sitting together. Ino and Sakura are probably hounding Sasuke, though Ino might be looking around. You see, that's the thing. Ino normally would probably be going for Sasuke, but I do think that Ino might, because she showed more interest in Sakura and Naruto, might actually, go and try to interact with Naruto. So, he's got his lunch, he's got his bento box, and he actually has a seal with ramen in it. That would be the cool thing. He has the bento box in like a, I don't know, iced tea on him. Goes to find a spot to sit and seeing if he can sit anywhere he wants. He can't necessarily, he sees groups of people sitting together, but, at the moment thanks to the Sage Mode training, he's also comfortable being alone. So he decides to sit under a nice tree, just kind of take in things. But as he sits down, it's like he hears, "Hey, can I join? Oh, hi, can I join you?" And then he sees Ino there, and he's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, hi." I didn't. It's like, yeah, Naruto. It's like, yeah, we're in the same class. It's like, oh yeah, I didn't get your name. Oh, I'm Ino. It's like, yeah, and she's kind of like, oh, it's nice to meet you. And he gives that foxy smile and just causes her to kind of get giddy. Just, oh god, he's even more attractive when he really gets that grin and stuff like that. So anyway, they sit down. And, he pulls out his bento, starts eating the bento. He would save his ramen for last, obviously. And they get to talking, and for the first time, remember, she's been obsessing over Sasuke this whole time, along with Sakura, who doesn't give them the time of day. So they don't actually know much about Sasuke when you really break it down. Unlike Sasuke, she actually gets a chance to get to know Naruto, and he talks about, what he was, who he, and I don't think there'd be any reason to keep him being the adopted son of Jiraiya a secret. I do also think he knows he's adopted, and we know that he knows that the fourth is his dad, but he's still raised by Jiraiya, even though he knows the fourth is his father. To quote Yondu, he may have been your father, but he wasn't your daddy. To him, his dad is Jiraiya. And Jiraiya, that kind of just the parental warming of the heart for Jiraiya, I think, grows strong. It's like he's very proud of Naruto, and he actually sees him as his son. I always liked that concept. But, and just actually almost drops when she, drops her food. It's like, it's like, what? You're the son of Jiraiya? Well, he's my adopted. My real dad, unfortunately died during the 12 during the Cuba. I'm so sorry. Like, it's okay. I mean, it sucks, but I learned to deal with it. I found out about it in the right time. My dad was really, thoughtful and telling, so they could know each other. I think Naruto would also point out, like, that's all you're eating? It's like, well, yeah, I mean, a girl's got to look good. Yeah, but you're a ninja. Looking good's fine, but you get enough exercise as a ninja anyway. You need to eat enough so you can build proper muscle and things. And Naruto actually telling her this, she's a little surprised. Like, what, you don't think I look good? It's like, and then Naruto, who hasn't probably had much interaction with girls his own age, mind you. I'm sure Jiraiya's he's probably met some women, not slutty women, just women throughout traveling with Jiraiya. But Naruto's like, no, you look great. And then he's like, did I just blurt that out? Like, yeah, you look great. Like, really? Yeah, but I mean, to understand that we're ninja, we need all the energy we can get because our jobs are dangerous. Eventually there will be a day that we may go out and not come back. But in order to come back, we need to be our top shelf. So basically, Naruto would actually spin it in the way that realizes that, yeah, I mean, now that I think about it, I do get a lot of exercise, and I'll be out in the field running, jumping, fighting, and I enjoy it, yeah. And then she's like, kind of like, I wish I'd brought more. Oh, hold on, I was about to get my ramen. It's like, wait, you were about to go get ramen? Well, no, I was about to pull out my ramen. He pulls out a scroll, and he just summons out 3 bowls. Here, I brought 3. I was gonna have these 3 are for myself, but you're more than welcome to have one. And she's more one who's like, what did you do? Oh, it's a ceiling scroll. He just pulls out the ceiling scroll, and he says because he loves ramen. Obviously, he says, yeah, I didn't have enough ramen left over for like what I normally eat, but I still have kept a couple bowls. So here you go. And would you want miso, beef, or was like, then I'll take the beef. And then she's enjoying ramen, and she's it's like, oh, she's finally got a full belly. He's like, oh, I haven't felt this full in so while. Oh, this feels so good. And they chat a while, get to know each other. And, Ino, for the first time, is feeling appreciated because she would probably share, her interest in flowers and gardening. And Naruto would, I think, because he was raised in the Toadlands for so long, has a lot of experience with exotic plants. And he even talks about that. He's like, wow. It's like, I visit there all the time with Dad. I can bring you back something. He's like, really? Yeah, sure. And then the bell rings like, oh, we guess we gotta get back to class, And then he gets up, they basically gets like another quick scroll and like, don't worry, this is a trash scroll. Basically, you can put your trash in here and I can toss it out in the bin. It's like, oh, thank you. It's like, oh, come on, you coming? It's like, oh. And she's like, actually blushes again. He gives that kind of just warm grin, just yeah, I'm coming. So, meanwhile, Sakura, who's been trying to get Sasuke's attention, then kind of gave up and ate her lunch alone, was watching. Is like, what was that about? And then they go to class. Now, I imagine the next part of class would be like the physical education part. So you'd probably have an obstacle course, target practice, and some sparring. I'd imagine that's the case. Plus practicing the academy jutsu and whatnot. Or at least the teaching of those jutsu. Whether or not you learn them in practice is all up to you. But Sakura would probably pull Ino aside. Like, what was that about? It's like, I was getting to know the new kid, the new hot guy. As a matter of fact, I was getting to know Naruto-kun for the Kun. It's like, yes, actually, yes. I think, even though it's just, I think he can probably consider me a friend. He's actually very nice. And then actually points out to Sakura too. It's like, Sakura, I mean, what do we actually know about Sasuke? Not much. He's awesome and cool, yes, but besides that, what's part of the Chichi? Yeah, but personally, what do we do? We know his favorite color. Do you know what his likes? Do you know what he does for hobbies? And Sakura actually kind of just stutters for well, yeah, it's like, yeah, Sasuke doesn't give us the time of day. I mean, yeah, he's good looking, but the more Io's really saying this out loud, the more she's realizing, like, what am I doing? And then she looks at Naruto, who kind of sees she's staring at him, and then gives her a smile again, and she kind of just gives that little blush. Like, yeah, I bet someone else actually likes me for who I am, and actually talks to me and gives me the time of day. So have fun. So, you know what, Sakura, you win. He's all yours. Have fun. So yeah, Sakura's kind of flabbergasted. So we move to the physical education part of the day. And Sakura, so basically there's an obstacle course, and most of them do well. I'd imagine it'd be Naruto, Sasuke, and Kiba. I do think Kiba actually, the obstacle course would be something Kiba's really good at, just because he's naturally physically inclined. So they're basically like the top marks. Then you move to the target practice. I actually do think Sasuke probably has still better aim than Naruto in this regard, just because his eyes. He doesn't have the Sharingan, but his eyes are just keener than Naruto's, I have to imagine. And then they get to the taijutsu part, and in this case, Naruto's been learning the frog style, and he's not going to use Sage Mode, obviously. But he knows the frog art of fighting. And it's going up, it's him versus, and they do get paired off. Sasuke versus Naruto. It's like, then they're paired off, and everyone's like, ooh, what's this new guy? How's this new guy going to pair to Sasuke? And Sasuke's actually, he says, like, I gotta say, ever since you came here, I've had a feeling about you. I'm looking forward to this. So he gets in his pose, and I'll admit, I don't know the actual, when you take a nature energy out of the equation, I'm not certain how the frog style actually fares as its own style. I have to believe it's, even on its own, it's still a pretty solid fighting style. And Naruto's had many years now to work on it. He's probably not a master of it, but he's probably a very skilled practitioner of it. So Naruto's like, all right, ready, gets in his own stance. I don't know what the stance would actually be, but maybe he does something kind of like, what was it, like, is that the stance that Goku, yeah, that's the stance that Goku took. So maybe that could be a frog, you know, because I remember there's like a lot of leaping and long punches, but, you know, you can react as well. So they go toe-to-toe, and Sasuke, again, I think is the faster of the two, but Naruto, add the frog style with his unpredictability, is immediately putting Sasuke on guard, and Naruto even gets a good couple of hits, and just And Sasuke then again pulls the tries to put it's kind of like the Lion's Barrage, but he hadn't learned that technique yet, so he does like an overhead axe kick, tries to get Naruto, who just blocks it again and just lands a good shot to Sasuke's jaw. Sasuke does manage to clip Naruto with his foot though, so Naruto goes flying back and just Naruto just kind of. And it's like, oh, it's like, not bad. And then Yoroku calls it. Meanwhile, everyone's been watching. It's like, whoa. It's like, nope. Even Kiba can't beat Sasuke. He hasn't even been able to tie. He's been able to. I'd imagine Kiba could probably get a couple scuffs on him. But Kiba's never been able to probably beat Sasuke or tie him. Naruto clearly, Yoroku called it as a tie. And Naruto clearly hasn't broken a sweat. And Sasuke's a little winded, but overall fine. But he's actually has to hold his ribs because Naruto probably landed a good shot to his side at that point. And Sasuke's just glaring at him, and Naruto's like, whew, I haven't had a good spy. I haven't had a partner like that in a long time, man. I'm looking forward to this month till graduation. And he holds out the hand, doing the sign of the leaf. And Sasuke immediately like, and Sasuke actually, gives him a spell, and he actually returns like, gotta say, I'm looking forward to this too. So, they leave, and or they do that, and the day goes on. He's kind of stealing glances at Naruto when he's not looking. So Naruto decides to head out, and now here's the thing: Jiraiya does have his duties in his spy network, so they probably arranged for him to have that apartment that he has. Now, granted, he does have other stuff too. He has his storage. They're probably all storage seals and stuff like that, scrolls. So he's, he heads out. Now that he said Jiraiya would definitely be there to show him to his new apartment, and he'll be there for his graduation exam, obviously. Jiraiya's there, shows up, and, Naruto's waiting, and, just like, Naruto, or, oh, hi, it's like, yeah, well, I was wondering, where are you waiting? He's like, oh, no, I'm just waiting on my dad. Jiraiya? Yeah. Yeah, he's taking me to my new apartment. What? Yeah, Jiraya is really important to the village, but unfortunately, and he explains doesn't exactly explain what Jiraya does because that's probably a bit more on the low key side or on the down low. Like the getting like new fresh getting or students shouldn't necessarily know about that stuff right at the gate. But he says what Jiraya does is important, but what he does is outside the village. But he's going to show me to my new apartment, and all that's like, oh wow, that's great. And so, oh well, oh yeah, what are you at? Oh, I'm just hanging out here and just thought I'd keep you company. It's like, oh, you're not waiting for that? Oh no, my dad's busy. He's in the interrogation department. So she decides to keep Naruto company, and eventually Jiraiya's sitting there in the tree waiting for him. However, Naruto suddenly is like, wait a minute, and then he all of a sudden and then he says, hold on, just looking at him, all of a sudden he does put sage mode on his eyes. It's like, what's up? What's with Naruto-kun's eyes? And I was like, and he just pulls out a blunted kunai with a stink bomb on. It's like with a stink bomb on, just throws it at your eyes like poof. And it's like, ha, you missed. And then all of a sudden, huh? Poof, ah! It's like, gotcha, Dad. And then all of a sudden the stage mode disappears. Like, and then just confused, like, oh, you brat, you little brat, I'm gonna get you for that. Yeah, well, you shouldn't be spying on me, Dad. It's like, yeah, well, I just want to give you and your little girlfriend, a new girlfriend, a little time alone. And he's blushing, and Naruto's got a light blush on. I'm like, Dad, this is we just met Yamanaka. And like, oh, you're an Orchi's girl, aren't you? I was like, oh, yes, sir. She's kind of she's meeting a Sonin for the first time. Like, you're Jiraya. Yes. He's like, no, well, I figure anything like your dad, you're going to be a fine Kunoichi someday. Yes, so what have you two been talking about? Oh, just getting to know each other. Yeah, Ino's really nice. It's like, yeah, Naruto's great. It's like, oh, that's great, yeah. Well, I came here to pick you up, so I'm going to show you the apartment. And, it's like, oh, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, It's like, oh, okay, Naruto. It's like, oh, well, why not? Well, if you're not busy, why don't you come on, keep us company? And see, this is where the pervy Jiraiya comes. It's like, oh, I'm going to get my son a girlfriend. And it's like, yeah, sure. If you don't have anywhere to be, well, I do have to get the shop ready in about an hour, but that should be more than enough time if it's where's the shop? And he explains where the shop is and explains where Naruto's apartment is. And let's, for sake's sake, they're close together. It's like, oh, it's on the way? Sure. And then, they show him the apartment, get everything sorted out. And, yeah, that's, she says goodbye to Naruto. I'll see you in class. And, yeah, it's like, and Jiraiya's just looking at Naruto. And Naruto now, at this age, knows that look on his dad, and he just goes, shut up. It's like, oh, what? I didn't say anything, son. I didn't say anything. Yo, man, go change your clothes. You stink. Whose fault is that? It's like, yours for spying on me. You had that coming. It's like, you better go sleep with both. I know where you sleep, boy. Yes, you do. You bought the place. And then he just kind of smiles. All right, I'm going to be off, son, but don't worry. In a month's time, I'm going to be here to congratulate you on becoming a Genin. It's like, all right, Dad, see you later. He gives him a hug and settles into the place. Now, what's interesting here about Naruto's we're going to pretty much end it here because we're at the 23-minute mark. I didn't actually intend to just go this long and just the trivalities of interactions with characters. But you know what? That's a lot of fun to do sometimes. And I had a lot of fun doing that. And as I've literally just painted it out, I might be now leaning towards a pairing I wasn't really intending to do that, but it's the natural progression I see characters going. Like I said, if I see natural patterns emerge with character relations, that's the way I go. And I actually saw that as a natural progression because that's kind of how the characters would naturally act in the original Naruto story. So anyway, we'll continue on with part 3, which will be basically just a recap of what happens within the month and basically the graduation and forward. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Naruto in the village because they took Naruto at birth. Or Jiraiya took Naruto pretty much at birth out of the village. As far as I know, the Nine-Tailed Fox is gone. Naruto has not been there to be belittled or hurt or cursed or anything like that. So, as far as I know, then Naruto's not the fox brat in this case. Unless Danzo maybe spread the news about that, but that would make no sense because there still hasn't been any sign of this kid the whole time. So we'll see what happens with that, but it's going to definitely be interesting later episodes down the line. Again, one of the only issues I ever have with doing the Naruto what ifs is even with Dragon Ball what ifs, I can speed through a lot of the history, particularly like in the Dragon Ball itself arc and through some of the other arcs in the series. With Naruto, if I start at the beginning, if any of you watched, saw how much how long my what was it not Sakura Senju one went on pretty long too, but it was the Naruto took the scroll one. You knew how long that went. I don't know how long this one's gonna go, but we'll see how long this one's gonna go. Anyway, I digress. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll review it at some point. Ideas for who would win. Star Wars, Superhero Magic. What if anything I do on this channel? Put that in the comments below. Let me know. I'll get to that at some point. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I will see you next time.